From the Sanosi Studios of Arizona, we are here, we are live, we are the MMA-Holes TGIW Season 4, episode number 21. JBH, how you doing?
Oh, you didn't do the, with the MMA-Hole.
Can't do that until we have the studio completely done.
Okay.
Should I do it?
Nah, I guess you're right. Maybe it would be a little weird, right?
The studio needs to be full. Now we are in the studio now. There's, echo. There's no lighting. It's just the beautiful scenery behind us. But we are sitting on the floor of what's going to be the future of the MMA-Holes here in Arizona. This is the Sanosi Studios, and it looks wonderful, wonderful. Even though it doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah.
It does. Yo, yeah, I got the little moss walk going on over here. Yo, look at that.
Turn around.
That's right.
Wait, you didn't turn around and show that. They can't see it like that. There you go.
Okay, there it is. A little moss walk going on there. That's right. So tonight we talk about the news. We take you through the MMA stories, and the main story that we threw on the thumbnail is Conor McGregor. Always gets people fired up. A lot of people are just very angry when Conor McGregor's in the news. But in this situation, we put a very serious, a very Abraham Lincoln looking Conor McGregor on the thumbnail. And the question that we ask you and we ask ourselves, is Conor McGregor retired? Is this it? Is it over for McGregor, Jesse?
I say it's not over. I think he's just yanking everyone's chain like he usually does. Do you think it's over?
No, I do not think it's over for Conor McGregor. In fact, I think what he did, like a lot of people think, is, listen, this is a game. This is himself staying in the news. This is himself saying, I want attention, and I want to get paid, and I want to fight. That's what it is. If you don't have anything ready for me, I'm going to hug my mother. I'm going to put a birthday cake out there. I'm going to say I'm retired. Some people are criticizing that he did it during the Amanda Nunes fight or after the Amanda Nunes big victory. And now Amanda Nunes wants to retire. Everybody's retiring. Everybody's retiring in the UFC. No one's retiring. Amanda's not retiring. Conor's not retiring. You heard it here first. Maybe Amanda retires before Conor McGregor. That's very possible. But I don't think she's done. I think she might have a couple more fights in her.
Yeah.
Maybe one, maybe two. What do you think about Amanda?
I think she there's a part of her that is considering it because she does have a baby on the way. But I don't see her after becoming the women's double champ, just dropping it like that. She's no Henry Cejudo, you know?
You got a baby coming between the two little lesbo family going on there. You got to feed that little baby. I know Amanda made some money, but you never can make too much. Amanda is right now just slaying it, and it would be #1 bullshit for Amanda to retire.
This is #1 bullshit.
That's right. Now I see a donation coming in here. Hopefully it plays.
Uh-oh.
I just want clear skin. My best.
I just want clear skin apparently. Why is my phone going to a commercial? Wow, I got a commercial in our video? No? Yes. Wow, we got a commercial.
So
D-Rest says, what does D-Rest say over there? I don't know why I did not pronunciate.
You said that's not a mohawk. They would have kicked your butt in '78.
They would have kicked my. No, this is a moss hawk. What? This is a moss hawk over here. Look at this. This is a moss hawk over here. It goes down. That's a moss hawk.
Spike it up.
Yeah, and it's not even done. It's the moss hawk. This is just kind of fluffing and fluffing. D-Rest, thank you. Or was that Alex? Who said that? That was. What is going on?
Your chat is glitching out too.
What is going on? Okay, hold on a second. Let's see what we got here. That was from D-Rest. Thank you, D-Rest. And let's play Alex's over here. We're gonna get these technical difficulties ironed out.
Play it?
Or are you gonna replay it?
Yeah.
Sure, replay that, please. Play that funky music. That was from Alex. D-Rest. Thank you. Here we go.
Well, this is a great way to start off the first show back.
What did Alex say over there?
Alex said Conor will be back within a year. Mark my fucking words. Nice haircut, Mosticles.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex, and I appreciate that donation. You have the largest penis I've ever seen in my life. Even though I've never seen it, I know it's big. Conor McGregor coming back in a year, I feel that's too long. I don't think a year is going to be I think he's going to be back sooner. Mm-hmm. I see Fight Island. I know they have this whole thing with the gate. No fans, no gate money. I think if you're going to get Conor McGregor back, you're going to have to put something out there like a Nick Diaz or Jorge Masvidal, and let's get this popping. The Khabib versus Gaethje thing's happening. So Conor, Nate is probably the most realistic thing. Fight Island, make it happen. What do you say?
I don't see Conor Nate being the most realistic. Would I like to see it? Of course. But I see Conor maybe Khabib rematch, or Gaethje has been calling out Conor a lot lately, but they already set up Gaethje Khabib for the end of this
So then you might be with Alex Lovell. Why do I fuck that up? Alex Lovell, you might be with him and say that it will be a year. Because if Conor's going to fight Khabib, or Gaethje if he beats Khabib, then that will be a year. So you're shelving Conor for a year.
No. I believe Conor will fight this year. I just don't think it's going to be Diaz.
Okay. But if it is Khabib and Gaethje, it's going to be a year, right? I think we're...
Well, let's see.
Because they still have to fight. And, I mean...
Let's see.
If Gaethje wins by some miracle, then...
God bless you.
It's the COVID. I got COVID.
You can take that off, because we have a chat here. That's really distracting.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'll go all like this. You keep talking, Jesse, while I fix this.
Okay. So let me look at the rankings over here, and then I'll tell you what Conor's next fight would be if it was this year. Okay. So here we go. Lightweight. Conor McGregor.
Why do you gotta even look
at
What are you looking at that for? Tony Ferguson is the only other guy there, but Dustin Poirier's got Hooker.
Dustin Poirier.
And then that's it.
Oh, yeah,
it's a wrap. It's over. It's over. You got Nate Diaz, you got Jorge Masvidal.
Well, they could make Conor fight someone lower in the top 10.
I know it's a lot. No. What? What kind of lunacy is this? Listen, a lot of people I see in the chat, there's some RDA comments. I think we have a story on the RDA situation.
RDA called it back.
Let's talk about it, but you can mark my words. That fight was supposed to happen. It would have been a magnificent fight. In fact, Conor may have never lost at UFC 196 if he fought RDA. I don't know. That would have been a tough fight for him, and I was in the building, but Nate Diaz spoiled the party for the McGregor fans. But to run that fight that was supposed to happen back doesn't make sense for the Conor McGregor party. It makes plenty of sense for RDA, but I'm going to veto that. I'm going to say that's not happening. I don't see Conor taking that fight.
So, according to the Bleacher Report, Rafael dos Anjos says he wants the UFC fight versus Conor McGregor at any weight. It does not matter. Conor McGregor might be retired, but that's not stopping Rafael dos Anjos from pushing for a fight with the former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion. Dos Anjos told MMA Junkie's Mike Bone he feels a level of unfinished business with McGregor, saying, quote, "The whole story, I was the lightweight champion. He was coming up to challenge me, and also I got a lot of fights. That was the only one that I didn't make it. That's why I would like to have on my record a fight with Conor. That's why I tweeted it. No more ifs. You see a lot of people say if that fight would have happened, if RDA won, if Conor won, what would have happened with Conor? If Conor had lost, what would have happened? A lot of ifs. So it's time to just put that thing on the table and let's go. Let's make this fight happen at any weight." The two were set to face off at UFC 196 in 2016. RDA broke his foot while training for the fight and had to pull out. Diaz took his place and induced a submission from McGregor in the second round. McGregor announced June 7th he was retiring. He said multiple times in the past he was walking away from MMA only to reverse course and return to the UFC.
All right. So listen, if I'm any fighter in the UFC, of course I'm going to throw my name in the hat for the Red Panty Night, of course, right? I don't blame RDA for doing it, but realistically, when you look at me, you get answers. You get the truth. And the truth is RDA is not fighting Conor McGregor anytime soon.
Yeah,
not
I
happening.
don't see it happening.
So we're going to move on from that. So the question we go back to, is Conor retired though? He's been very quiet on social media, and he put his retirement thing out there, and then that's it. He rode off into the sunset. It's a strategy. It's a move to get people to talk about him. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with Conor's coming back. Jesse, what do you say?
I'm going to say Conor's coming back.
Okay. So now, chat room, what do you say? Is Conor coming back, or is he in fact done? Let's see what you got over there, and let's see how many McNuggets we read in the chat too, because.
All right. Hold on, let me read the chat first. Is John Jones calling him out next? Chew coffee. Conor vs. RDA is granny panty night for Conor. We need that trilogy. Conor coming back. JBH is an Apache. Conor is coming back versus Jorge. Conor's not retiring. Is the sky blue? Yes. Conor will be back. Conor changed Twitter profile pic from double champ picture to him on a jet ski. Did he really?
That's his retirement picture. He's done. That's it.
Well, then. But you know what? He could just be doing that to make you believe it, you know? Let's see. Let's go to Conor McGregor.
The more I think about it, I do believe that Nate Diaz, the trilogy, just makes the most sense right now. I would like to see Masvidal. That's the one I would like to see, but I think Nate Diaz makes the sense. Would I like to see him fight Gaethje? Of course. Would I like to see him rematch Khabib? Of course.
Look at this shit.
There's Conor on the jet ski. He could be riding off, Jesse. He could be riding off.
Into the sunset. The sunset.
It's possible. If you're just tuning in, we are streaming live from the Sonosi Studios of Arizona. We are sitting on the floor. This is a wall behind us that's blank. And we'll get this party started hopefully soon. Looking like the beginning of July is when we'll start getting the pieces together, the equipment together. I noticed on Instagram someone said it's not the same, and of course it's not the same. We're talking to a phone. We're not in our studio. We don't have the microphones and all that stuff. That will be back. So do not worry. The production will be back. It'll be better than ever. We'll be doing our fight buddies. We'll be going ham with this community. So hang in there. More content to come. All right, what's the next story, JBH?
Okay. Next story. Ali Abdelaziz says prostitute Conor McGregor should come out of retirement.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Am I off the mark? But are Darren Till and Mike Perry going too far? Perry said he would raw dog Perry's girl, so Perry returned fire by saying he would kick Till's mom in the face and F her. Am I crazy, or is this trash talk going too far?
Well, go ahead, Jess.
In my opinion, if both people are doing it, then they're both equally wrong, so there's nobody to really judge where that trash talk is going with them. But if one person was on one side was saying something really nasty and the other person wasn't going that far, then yeah, I would say that's going too far. But they're both doing it to each other, you know? So they're both equally wrong. I don't know. I don't think it's too far if they're both doing it.
Manny C, thank you for the donation. And this is going on for a little while. In fact, maybe a month ago, Mike Perry blocked Darren Till. They were having fun, busting chops, and I think it did go too far in Mike Perry's eyes, and Mike Perry blocked him. So Darren Till got blocked by a black male.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you read these back and forths, yes, you can say it went too far, but at the same time, they were both going at each other and just talking shit. To me, it looked like two guys were just being assholes to each other. I didn't see anything really wrong with it. Yes, what they were saying is wrong, but when you see dudes like, it's tough for me to say if that's too far. So to say it's too far, I didn't think so. It's just weird that Mike Perry, I think, started it, the ball busting, and Darren Till kept going with it, and then Mike Perry's like, I'm going to block you now. But if I'm not mistaken, you started the sarcasm back and forth. So yeah, if you can't take it, then don't dish it. That's how I look at it.
So Ali Abdelaziz believes Conor McGregor retiring earlier this month was nothing more than a desperate plea for attention and a bid to stay relevant. The renowned MMA manager roasted McGregor after the Irishman allegedly tried to steal the spotlight from women's MMA GOAT Amanda Nunes following her successful featherweight title defense against Felicia Spencer in the UFC 250 main event. He said, quote, "Same old prostitute, he wants attention. He robbed poor Amanda Nunes out of her moment. Stop it."
Nunes.
Abdelaziz would like to see McGregor come off retirement and earn his rematch with Khabib by facing either Tony Ferguson or Jorge Masvidal. He said, right now he's on punishment for his bad behavior. Right now he needs to sit down, go fight Tony Ferguson, stay busy, stay active. Go fight Jorge Masvidal, stay active. I want to see activity. Remember he used to say that to all of us? Guess what? Payback is a bitch. A lot of good business done is off Conor. But UFC doesn't stop without Conor. We don't stop without Conor. Will Khabib fight him? He can forget about it. I don't think Khabib will fight him. Will Gaethje fight him? I don't know, maybe. But at the end of the day, I would like to see Conor fight one more fight before he gets a title shot. I would like to see him fight Tony Ferguson. I think that's the fight a lot of people, it's a good fight. They have histories, and I think they should fight to see who is the #1 contender.
So Ali's chiming in, and he wants to see Ferguson versus McGregor, correct?
Because he doesn't think McGregor deserves the title shot right now.
But he was all aboard on McGregor and Gaethje, wasn't he? Aboard
Well, he
on that?
said, basically what he said is there's no way in hell he's going to fight Khabib, but there's always the possibility that he'll fight Gaethje.
Listen, everyone knows that Ali Abdelaziz wants to get his fighters paid. And the only way you're going to give your fighters and yourself that fat ass paycheck is you fight Conor McGregor. So let's.
Shopping door pandemic.
I gotta fix the chat. D-Rest.
Conor McGregor, the greatest UFC cash cow of all time. Everyone wants to fight him. Fix the message songs. Oh Manny C did it already. Thanks Manny. Mike Perry's a bum. Abdelaziz loves Conor.
It's true. Thank you, D-Rest. Basically, piggybacking off of what I said, he wants to get his fighters red penny nights because not only does his fighters get it, but so does he. So let's not.
Well, I don't even think it's just that. I think Ali is still like all fucked up about what Conor did to kind of get the upper hand when Ali was like intertwining himself with the Khabib Conor thing, and I think Ali still has that sour taste in his mouth for Conor, and even though Conor's moving on, Ali can't get Conor's name out of his mouth. You know, like I don't know. I think Ali is he just loves him.
He does. Ali's a big Conor fan. Let's be honest. He got Khabib paid a lot of money. He made a lot of money off of Conor McGregor, and Khabib won. So Ali should be very, very proud of what Conor McGregor has done. All right, I'm giving up on the chat.
Yeah, forget it. You don't need
I'm
it.
giving up on you guys. But anyway, if you want to watch the chat, there's the live chat down below. You just click
Or
the
to your
thing.
side.
Just hit the live chat. I don't know what to say. This app, I cannot wait. I truly cannot wait to get the studio back up and running and not on this mobile shite anymore, because it is mobile shite. It's no good. I don't know why, but it's just no good. All right, so let's see what the chat says about Ali Abdelaziz. I mean, let's see what you guys say.
And I started raw dogging his bird, says Aiden. I just want to drink coffee, says Matt Stone. Moss got a haircut and a shave. That's right, Moss got the Moss Hawk.
Yeah, Jesse gave me the Moss Hawk.
I still need to fix it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's all fucked up, but
Yeah,
this is quarantine.
I went
haircut.
too short right here, so I'm gonna let it grow out a little bit so that I could make it look nice and neat.
It's all right. We got it flowing over here,
Yeah,
and
we'll get
it's
it.
going.
We'll get it. My jealous of Conor. A few more UFC events, and Conor will keep moving down GOAT list, and he will be begging for Tony.
Who said that?
Heavy Microgrow.
You think he's gonna be begging for Tony Ferguson? I mean, honestly, what I'm thinking is this: he can retire whenever. You know, he's got his Prop 12. He's got his clothing line. He's got all his hand in everything. He can go to WWE if he wanted to go. He doesn't need the UFC. I truly believe, and maybe I'm wrong, but I truly believe he does it because he enjoys, of course, the paycheck. But he likes to compete. I think he still has some business to take care of, and he doesn't like how he went out with the Khabib thing or the Diaz thing, you know, back in the day too.
Yeah.
Comes back, he beats Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy's old, yada yada yada. He came back with this seasoned mentality, and if you think he's coming back because he's doing it for because he's broke, that's not what's happened. The he's good. The guy's golden. So, I mean, I think he wants to compete. That's my opinion.
Ali is a scumbag, and he's in collusion with UFC brass. Ali ratted his co-terrorists out. What's up, MMA lords? Proper 12 money is big time. Conor will handpick his opponent and not fight the tough fights.
I mean, yeah. Does it make sense for him to fight Tony Ferguson? Extraordinarily tough, right? And he likes to compete and this and that, but right now Tony's coming off the L, and Conor wants to go up in this direction. So yes, you would say Tony's in the path, fight Tony. But
don't you think after Tony's last performance, like maybe Tony's checked out? Maybe he's just not the same Tony anymore.
I mean, listen, I don't think he's checked out, but Is he the same Tony? We won't know until his
Definitely
next
not
fight.
the same Tony.
I can't. I mean, I don't know what to think with Tony Ferguson anymore. Like, he looked great. His fight before. Was Cowboy before?
Yeah, it's Cowboy and then Gaethje.
I mean, Cowboy held his own in that fight. I know Cowboy's face was a balloon, but he did hold his own against Tony. Man, is Tony on his way out?
I could argue for a couple reasons that he is.
It's tough because Gaethje is really good, you know? But maybe, who knows? Maybe Tony is getting burnt out. Maybe, you know, the head things that are going on upstairs, maybe Tony time is on the downcline. I don't know. It's possible. It could very well be possible. Everyone has the point of going this way, down this way. And it's not me, though, but everyone else has that.
All right, so let me give you one last thing on Conor before we move on. And this is 4 reasons not to believe Conor McGregor's latest retirement announcement.
Okay, 4 reasons. Now, what was this on? Bleacher Report? The Bleachers? Okay, let's get the 4 reasons.
Okay, now, hold on one second. Okay. Conor McGregor is once again retired. At least that's what the Irish MMA superstar would have the world believe. McGregor announced his retirement on Twitter moments after the conclusion of UFC 250 card on June 7th. At this stage, McGregor has amassed enough wealth to retire, having had a massively successful combat sports career and launched multiple successful companies such as Proper 12 Irish Whiskey, his August McGregor clothing line. He also already cemented himself as one of the greatest and most influential fighters in MMA history, winning titles in 2 weight classes and shattering multiple UFC records, so there's really no need to stick around for his legacy's sake. All the same, there is a widespread skepticism that his retirement will last. That skepticism is easy to understand. To put it simply, it doesn't take a detective to deduce that we haven't seen the last of Conor McGregor in the octagon. The clues are everywhere. Number 1.
Okay.
History,
Number 1. Here we go.
History speaks for itself. Conor McGregor has retired often enough in a narrow enough time frame that at this point, nobody is going to believe he's actually hanging up his gloves until he moves into a retirement home. To refresh, the Irishman first retired in 2016 between his first and second fights with Nick Diaz. He then retired for a second time in 2019, once again making his announcement on Twitter. At this stage, McGregor's retirement saga is MMA's response. Maybe he means it in this time, but he simply fooled us too many times before to convince us. So basically they're saying, he's done this a million times, why should we believe him now? That's reason number 1. Okay? Number 2. I said 1. Number 2, money talks. Conor McGregor likes money. In fact, no fighter in MMA history is more synonymous with wealth than he is. He's collected the biggest paydays in UFC history by a massive margin. He took home a mountain of cash for his blockbuster 2017 boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. He's launched multiple successful businesses. Suffice it to say that he's a shrewd businessman, as he is a dangerous fighter. So while he claims to be retired, he might well end that retirement for the right payday. Sound fair?
Remember, Floyd Mayweather retired 417 times and came back each and every time. This is not the end.
Reason number 3, he won't be bored forever. Shortly after McGregor announced his latest retirement, he partook in a quick interview with ESPN to shed some light on his decisions. He emphasized the fact that he's currently bored. While McGregor says boredom is part of the reason for his retirement, boredom could also end up being what ends it. The man loves to fight. As recently as January, before his 42nd TKO win over Cowboy, he was waxing poetic about his dedication to his craft. If McGregor loves fighting as much as he's led us to believe, he'll eventually get bored with retired life, like so many other fighters have. Before long, a new challenger will emerge from the crowd. The UFC will offer its most reliable cash cow, another gargantuan payday, and the former 2-division champ will suddenly realize his blood is pumping again.
Now, if you, to those of you that are new to this program, Jesse retired once from the MMA-Holes and came back. Jesse,
unlike Conor McGregor.
Tell us about your comeback. You came back. You retired.
Don't call it a comeback.
See? Jesse's retired, so she understands. So now, Jesse, you have come back from retirement, and do you think that Conor McGregor is doing the same thing? Were you doing a tactic? Was it something like that?
It was the Conor McGregor tactic. I wanted to make them hungry.
You wanted more money? All right.
I demanded more. All right. And reason number 4, he has a score to settle. While McGregor could be lured back to the cage by money or boredom, the easiest way...
Hold on 1 second. This is the biggest one. Everyone pay attention to this. He's got a score to settle. Okay?
Okay. The easiest way to coax him back might be by offering up a rematch with undefeated UFC lightweight champ Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor and Nurmagomedov fought in late 2018. Ahead of the fight, the pair quickly devolved into the most bitter of rivals. Oftentimes, rivalries fizzle out at the conclusion of a fight, but that was not the case for these two. After the fight, which Nurmagomedov won by 4th round submission, their rivalry reached new heights as their teams engaged in a heated brawl both inside and outside the octagon. The lingering animosity has festered to this day, while Khabib has expressed reluctance to give McGregor a rematch. McGregor has repeatedly shared his desire for a do-over with the reigning lightweight champ. If the UFC starts to miss its biggest star enough, it might just attempt to coax him back to the cage by offering him a big-ticket rematch with his fiercest rival. It's an opportunity McGregor would almost certainly leap at, and a fight Nurmagomedov would probably take for the right price.
Okay. Okay, I do feel before Conor's time is up, especially if Nurmagomedov does take out Gaethje, I do feel that it is one more dance between the two. And if you're a Khabib and you finish Conor the first time and you're very confident that you can take him out 100 out of 100 times, you got to think Khabib would take the paycheck and smash him again.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think it's just too enticing. You got to think Ali Abdelaziz, who's a very good businessman, would just whisper in Khabib's ear and say, hey, listen, buddy, everything is a good scenario here, okay? You smash him again, you get even more bragging rights, you get a ton more money. If you somehow lose the fight, you're guaranteeing a trilogy. That's a shitload even more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a win-win everywhere. Yes, you can say Khabib might lose his flawless record, which is probably not going to happen, but say that does happen by some slim chance. Think about the third payday. Okay, I mean, I can't see Ali Abdelaziz as a manager just turning that down or trying to say, Khabib, oh yeah, don't do that. So,
well, he might. Ali has his own animosity with Conor that's completely unattached. So Ali might sabotage a money fight like that because of his own. He can't let his own ego. He can't put it to the side, you know.
It's interesting. There's a lot of interesting fights though. Like I'm not even like on the Khabib thing. I want to see Conor fight Diaz again. I want to see the trilogy be completed. I want to see a Masvidal fight. I want to see him fight Gaethje. Like I'm down with those fights now. So it's not even about Khabib anymore. There's a lot of interesting fights that can be thrown at Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think we'll wrap it up here. But let's get the last couple of comments in the chat about McGregor, and then we'll move on because we have fights this weekend. In other news.
If Conor
Shopping during a pandemic.
Drunk savage.
I would like to take this time to announce my retirement from the MMA-Holes. Thanks for the whiskey. Catch you fuckers later, slap nuts.
Drunk, listen, it was a good run, and I don't know how to handle this, Jesse. Thank you for your services. Okay, chat, what do you got to say?
All right. Fake news. McGregor Masvidal is the fight to make. I'm drunk with the fist pump.
Boom, roasted. Boom, roasted. You suck. Boom, roasted.
Random question that's likely non-existent. If Aunt Coca somehow got McGregor to Bellator or got into one championship, what do you think that would spell for MMA? Or crazier, he makes his own promotion? P.S. Hair stands out in the background.
And hold on, this is from Studio King Sinosi. Thank you very much. Did he say Scott Coker? Oh, Ann Coker. Yes, Ann Coker. I don't ever foresee Ann Coker getting his hands on
Shopping during a
McGregor.
pandemic.
You see that? I don't think that could ever happen.
You guys look like every Guinea couple in my neighborhood with those A-shirts you're wearing. Why are those cocksucker fucking with you? They should be comping a year of full service.
That's D-Rest. This is Irish fighting athletics over here. So it's a weird Guinea to be wearing an Irish thing, representing the Irish today. This is my other half. I do have Guinea in me though. But tonight, We're representing the Irish potato damage. Thank you to D-Rest. Appreciate that. What do you think about wearing your wife beater for the show?
I love it.
Ah,
You got no pants on,
super chat.
Yes, I do.
Good see you again, MMA-Holes. Enjoy Arizona. Embarrassed smiley face. Clinking beer mugs.
Thank you. I've recovered from my alcoholic poisoning, and I'm ready to drink again. So the next time we go hard,
Stop.
I'm ready to go. I don't know.
Stop
I
it.
took care of the hangover. I said I'd never drink again, but now I'm refreshed. Jesse, show them the pants you're wearing. So we had people come over today, security. We had a handyman come over, and this is what Jesse greased him with. Can you show me the bottoms?
No, it wasn't like weird.
I was standing there, and I'm like, what are you wearing?
Shorts?
Show him the bottoms.
No.
If it's not weird, show him the bottoms.
No, it's weird. It's weird that you're asking me to show them what I'm wearing.
If you saw these things, you'd be
They're
like,
just
she's
shorts.
not wearing pants.
Oh my god, they're just shorts.
She's not wearing pants. You see the cheeks. The cheeks are out. I'm like, what?
They're just shorts.
Those aren't shorts.
They are shorts.
Hold on. I just put a vagina lip back in. It's just hanging out of her pants. All right, anyway, back.
Stop.
I tried, guys. All right, back to the stories here. What do we got?
The blue shorts? No, they're just a pair of black shorts.
I don't know what color it is because you don't see shorts. Not Daisy Dukes.
Trying to impress the handyman, a porn scene?
Yeah, it looks like something coming out of a porno.
It's hot in AZ, Moss. It is. It's fucking hot here. I'm wearing shorts, for God's sake. I never wear shorts.
Then why did the ADT guy have a boner?
He didn't. Stop it.
Oh. All right.
Conor's RDA is the fight to make.
Okay.
All right.
What's
There's
the next
no
story?
valuable comments
No,
here.
I didn't even say to read the chat, so I don't know. We said we're gonna move on.
Okay, sources. We already talked about this a little bit yesterday. Sources tell ARIEL HELWANI that Yoel Romero's next fight will be against Uriah Hall in August.
Yoel Romero, Uriah Hall, we spoke about this on the phone stream yesterday from the kitchen, and I like it. I think it's interesting. It could be a statement for Yoel Romero to come in there and take Uriah's head off, or Uriah can get it done. I mean, if Uriah beats Yoel Romero, that bumps him right up the rankings and puts him back in the mix. It's interesting. I'm a Uriah Hall fan, so I'm hoping Uriah gets it done. But Uriah Hall beating Yoel Romero, moving up. Could you see a Uriah versus, what's his name, Adesanya? Two guys that are very good strikers going at it with each other. Maybe very interesting. What do you think?
Hold on.
What do we got? Oh. Anyway, Jesse's gonna take care of that. But yeah, Yoel Romero versus Uriah Hall. I want to know in the chat though. This is what I want to know, and I need to know. Does Uriah Hall have a chance against Yoel Romero? Is he gonna win? Who in the chat thinks Uriah can get the W over Yoel Romero? Because I have a feeling here that Yoel is gonna be the heavy favorite. That's what I'm gonna go with here. But who thinks that Uriah is gonna get the job done? Let me know in the chat.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Oh, drunk.
Okay, I'd like to announce that I'm coming out of retirement for one more run. Vigo Stockholm, you're taking everything I've worked for, motherfucker. I'm gonna fight your fucking ass, wheelchair and all. Also until McGregor leaves the USADA pool. Fake news.
Wow. So Drunk Savage is coming out of retirement right now, and I think we're glitching over here. Hold on. Let me see.
The USADA pool. Fake news.
Okay.
Wow. So Drunk Savage.
All right, so it's just the video that's glitching. Drunk, thank you for the donation over there. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're coming out of retirement. He also says, well, Vigo Stockholm, taking everything I work for, and I'm going to fight. Whoa, he's going to fight. He's going to take, wow, he's going to take out Vigo. Okay, so Drunk Savage, I appreciate the donation. And you, I mean, it's been such a long run without you here, and now that you're back, I'm just kind of getting emotional.
All right, so Uriah Hall, Yoel Romero. What were you talking about there for a slight moment?
Well, who in the chat thinks that Uriah can get the job done? I think that Romero is going to be a pretty big favorite in that fight. That's what I'm going to go with. But who thinks that Uriah can get it done?
I kind of want to pick Uriah Hall in that fight. Like in some weird way, I sway more towards the under here.
So you think he's gonna win?
Yeah, I kind of want to pick him.
Well, I'm gonna pick him because I am a fan of Uriah, but I don't know if he's gonna win. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling Uriah getting it done.
I might go Uriah. I think I'm gonna go Uriah.
All right.
All right. Next topic.
Wait, we were asking the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I don't have the guide. It's not normal, okay? You're gonna have to bear with me. This is weird. I'm trying to do a full-on, like, TGIW like this. It's weird.
We gotta read the chat. You gotta stare at us while we read
Okay. All right. Hall always underperforms, but he's gonna sleep Romero. Bet the house on Hall.
Wow.
Go for gay Jesus. Hall is a good pick. Hall sucks. Uriah Favorite has a better chance at beating Yoel than Hall does. Hall gonna be dancing like Elvis. Hall will run the whole fight, then get tired round 2, then get KO'd from no gas tank. I say fuck Jew boy.
Wait, Hall?
Fat Jew boy.
When have we really seen Hall's gas tank fail? And we've seen Hall come back late in fights and knock guys out. So I don't know. What? I don't know about that one. I mean, what?
Stevie says, I've been waiting for Uriah Hall to win a big fight for years.
Me too, man. I've been with you. I'm with you on that. Yeah, Musashi, he beat Musashi the first time. Musashi beat him the second time. I mean, I don't know. That just knocking out Gegard Musashi was like, what in the holy hell? All right. Holes failed. Your opposite sides. What's up, y'all? What's up, BK? Hope you're wonderful, wonderful. It's going to be Drug Lord Porno. Cole Vic, go eat chicken wings. Hall is in a good place in his career. It's his time, says Rye. Cheap shot win, says Cole Vic. All right, so we got some mixed reviews in the chat. Do you like the fight? Do you think it's creamy? Like, what do you think? It kind of caught me out of left field. Hall versus Romero. It looks, even the poster looks weird. Like, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know. I always remember that Hall KO from The Ultimate Fighter. Hall in The Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, what was it? A spinning kick? Head kick or some shit? Dude was stiff. Everyone was saying that this guy was the real deal. I thought he was the real deal, and Kelvin Gastelum spoiled the party. What's with the low budget scenes is super insane. Well, apparently you're coming in late. We are in the studio.
Come on! Where have you been for the last week and a half? God, don't even just let chat. Could you just explain what's going on here? Can someone in the chat just come on? You know, and you say you're an OG MMA hole.
Listen.
OG MMA hole, my Batuki. If you were an OG MMA hole, you would have been around for the last week and a half, and you know what's going on.
I expect you to be in attendance from the very beginning of the show. Okay? If you come in here and ask questions because you're late and you're not here on time, then I don't know what to do with you. Okay? I really don't know what to do with you. How many times do we have to tell you, you be here sharp, you be in your seat, and you raise your hand when you have a question? Do you understand that?
Oh. Okay. All right. So you want me to move on to the next topic? Or you want me to read the chat?
Sure. Move along, please.
Okay. Here we go. Next topic. Bleacher Report says Daniel Cormier responds to Jorge Masvidal, who tweeted about white knights in the UFC.
And you lazy motherfuckers, you better like this video right now because I see 147 and only 80 likes. So you better put the thumb in the upright position. Just because we're sitting on a floor in a studio with no equipment right now does not mean that gives you the right to not do this. Okay?
Now, I have a very important question.
Yeah.
This topic is about Daniel Cormier and Jorge Masvidal. Why then is there a picture of Derek Lewis?
Because black don't crack.
Because they think it's Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier responds to Jorge Masvidal's tweet about...
Why is there a picture of Derek Lewis?
Well, white knights. What are they talking about here?
It has nothing to do with Derek Lewis.
There's no Lewis in the article.
Someone doesn't know what Daniel Cormier looks like.
Who wrote this article? What is it for? Bleacher Report?
Blake Schuster.
Wait, what the hell?
He thinks that's Daniel Cormier. Oh,
apparently
God.
Blake thinks all black guys look the same because... What?
Okay, here we go. Ready? As Jorge Masvidal continues to work on a contract for his next fight, he's already found a sparring partner on Twitter. following a tweet in which the welterweight fighter called out UFC white knights who comment on the sport while Masvidal works on getting a raise. Heavyweight Daniel Cormier has begun firing back. Now, Jorge Masvidal tweeted this, quote, "And for the hashtag white knights that have commentating jobs with the UFC that say just fight, you guys should be embarrassed to call yourselves current and former fighters. Not one of you have been doing it as long as me, and like me, there's a reason you're commentating."
What did Derek Lewis say? Are you saying anything?
Derek Lewis didn't say anything. Now, Cormier, who does serve as an analyst for the UFC, opened up to ESPN's ARIEL HELWANI in a video posted. Ready? He said, "I never said just fight, but Masvidal, when he says current or former fighters and he said you haven't been doing it as long as me, no, I haven't. Or like me? What does or like me mean? Had as much success? If he's talking about me, I've done it like him, if not better. Not just him, I've done it better than most people in the world, so I think maybe he wasn't talking about me. If he was, it just doesn't work. Maybe he's talking about those other guys because that part of or like me doesn't work for me. I haven't done it as long, but in the time I have done it, I've done it better than just about anybody who's done it."
Why is Daniel Cormier explaining himself to Jorge Masvidal? Let's be honest, guys. Jorge Masvidal did nothing. He knocked out Darren, the freaking Veneers Till, right? Who is completely overrated. Let's stop it already. And he won a BMF belt against Nick Diaz, a belt that doesn't mean a jack shit. What? Jorge, Daniel, you have my permission to not say a goddamn word to Jorge Masvidal. What do you acknowledge? I mean, you're here, and he's way low. What? Derek Lewis, what are you going to do about this? Oh, it's not. I mean, Daniel Cormier.
I see what you did there, Moss.
It's crazy, man.
That was funny as fuck.
Some things are make your head, you scratch your head with Jorge Masvidal. Listen, congratulations. You did what you did to get the paychecks. You got this whole thing going, the Street Jesus thing. It's working. I'd love to see you fight Colby Covington or Conor McGregor. I think those two would be fun to watch. But
yeah.
By the way, the Schmo had on Dana White and
Uncle Fester.
Let me talk about the Schmo for a second. Yeah. Let me talk about this for a second, okay? I can't get comfortable to sit on the floor.
That was horrible.
So I watched his interview. I actually watched all 30 minutes. The Schmo and Horseface. What's the Horseface's name?
Helen Yee. And she's
Helen
not
Yee.
a horseface.
Oh boy.
She's very pretty.
She needs a feedback. So listen.
Stop. That's so mean. She's pretty.
I kid. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. She's got zero personality. I don't know. Just because she has big tits.
No, she's
like, I don't understand her.
Listen, she's an interviewer. She's not a podcaster, so you have to cut her some slack. She's not built for podcasting.
She looks like Jar Jar Binks with fake breasts.
That's mean. That's really mean.
It's unbelievable. And here's the thing. If it wasn't for the fake breasts, no one would care about Helen Yee. She's like, "Hi, how you doing?" And she asks these questions.
What did she ever do to you?
She's unlistenable and unwatchable.
She didn't do anything to you.
I don't get. Listen, if the Schmo is in love, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Some people hate Jesse. Some people hate me. It's fine. People don't like it. But Helen Yee, how did she ever become a reporter or an interviewer or anything?
She's a great interviewer.
No, she is not.
Yes,
she stumbles across her interviews. It's crazy. She's always reading notes and stumbling through. She's stuttering. It's like she got fake tits so people would hire her for something. And now she's sitting on this podcast with the Schmo, right? It's like the Schmo zone, but the Schmo is not in character. So he's like in character for 2 minutes. He's like, "I can't do this anymore," and throws the glasses off, and now myself. Why are you calling it the Schmo show if you're not the Schmo anymore? Like, I don't understand. You're famous because of the dopey Schmo thing, and now you're doing this regular guy thing.
Because I think he's getting tired of the character.
Okay, so then get rid of the Schmo thing. Just get rid of it and do a podcast.
I do agree that he should phase it out.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You can tell he's like embarrassed doing this stupid thing now. It's kind of like, all right, I showed everyone my hand. I'm not the Schmo anymore. I'm a normal guy. So be the normal guy. Do your podcast.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
It's harder. Ever since I saw him as a normal guy, it is harder to look at him as the Schmo.
Oh my God, there's so much going on
If he kept the Schmo thing going, it would have been fine. He would have been fine. But the fact that he showed his normal self, now it's like every time he's a Schmo.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Kainoto.
She got that gig by doing what she does best, stumbling face first into a cock.
Come on. That's not nice. That's fucked up.
Thank you, kind of appreciate it. Now, with everything being said, Helen Yee's terrible. But with that being said, the Schmo guy is a very intelligent dude, and you can tell that his questions, you can tell the guy is very knowledgeable. You can tell that he knows how to conduct an interview. He's very good. You know, so be himself, whatever his real name is. Be yourself, do the interviews, and you know, maybe if you want to throw some humor in there, sure. But the whole Schmo thing, let's get rid of it. No one cares about the Schmo anymore, right? Just move on. No one. Okay, it was funny in the beginning when we thought that this guy actually acted like that. Now that we know it's not a real human being, it's this weird made up character. You don't have to do it anymore, right? Isn't it unnecessary?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. So move on. Anyway, he interviewed Dana White, right? And Dana White was talking about fighters and their pay, and that fighters are complaining and yada yada yada. But here's the real situation: we don't know what's going to happen within the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months. Everything can be just shut down, and you guys are complaining about pay, but you might not even have a job if this coronavirus keeps going, right? He makes a very good point, Dana White. Right? I understand guys got to get paid. They deserve to make a lot of money with their line of work, but there's really not much of an option right now. So I want to talk about this with you, Jess.
Okay.
What do the fighters do? Do they wait for the big payday to come and take that gamble of not being able to fight maybe down the road? Or do they take some fights here and just keep working?
I would say the second option. I would say take some fights and keep working. It makes the most sense to me. Listen, I believe that everyone is entitled, if they feel they're not getting paid for the amount of work they put in, to make a comment about it or to say something. Everybody's entitled to that. But I don't believe everyone is entitled to the money being given to them. Like, you have every right to say that, you know, to demand more money, but if there's a dire situation like a global pandemic where everybody is having money issues right now, you're not entitled to just be handed hundreds of thousands of dollars while the person next to you is struggling to put food on the table. It's kind of fucked up. So I would say just keep working, keep grinding, and when the moment's right, you'll get that pay. Your voice was heard. People know that you want more pay. The higher up knows you want more pay. It's in his head. So now just keep working, keep grinding. Eventually you'll get it, you know?
It's a weird time that we're in. These fighters deserve more, like I said before. They are underpaid, especially the guys that are on the prelims and the earlier fights on the main card. Guys aren't getting bonuses, and they deserve bonuses. But we're at a time right now where there's no gate, there's no people in the building. Yes, the UFC has money, but they still have to put on these events. And how much are they really making off these events with the pay-per-views? I don't know. But they're not making as much as they would if they were having a bunch of people there, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're a fighter, I mean, you're going to have to collect a check. I mean, if that is your line of work, you're going to have to go into work and collect that check. So, you know, if you don't like the matchup and you want to turn down a fight, I'm fine with that. But if you're just going to sit there and hold out and wait for more money during a pandemic, during Black Lives Matter riots going on, like all this, I mean, listen, this is end of the world type stuff going on here. It's insane. And you have a job that you can work. That's like me, you know, I don't know, being a police officer and saying, you know what, I'm not getting paid enough, I'm not going to do this. They don't get paid enough, but at least they're getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
I saw some people in the chat bring up something too that was interesting, was that he signed a contract already, and that you can't sign a contract and then demand more money. And I didn't even take that into consideration. If he signed a contract that he was going to get paid a specific amount of money for however many years or however many fights or whatever, then he has no right to demand more money. He has no right. You have to fulfill that contract, and then when you get ready to re-sign, that's when you ask for more money. So, I don't know, I guess maybe depending on how the contract's written, maybe he is allowed to ask for more money. We've never seen the contract, so we have no way of knowing. But, yeah.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Kainoto coming in.
I'm like so entitled to what I ask for. I deserve all the money I ask for. Oh my god, I'm so upset at how the UFC's site lists me at 155. Check out Hurry to know what I'm saying.
There you go, Kainoto, hit the nail on the head. Thank you for the donation.
The PVZ.
I appreciate that. Listen, I have a hot take on a lot of things, even outside of the MMA world. People complaining about certain jobs that they have, and they got into that line of work knowing that there were going to be certain risks and things that happen in their job. And I see it all the time. Like, there's a lot of complaining going on, but you signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you didn't. It's, you know, so if you're a fighter and you're getting paid an X amount of dollars, if you signed a contract and you don't like that contract anymore, why the fuck did you sign the contract?
Yeah.
Like, think of, like, I'm all for people making more money. Everyone's got to make more money, get what they deserve. But if you're signing a contract and then you complain about it, that's your fucking fault. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. You know, like, if I sign up to be a certain, do a certain job, and then I start complaining about my job, and that's in the description of my job, it's like being a field goal kicker. You'd be like, I don't want to kick field goals anymore. But you're a field goal kicker. What do you want me to do? It's just nuts. It's crazy, man. So
CBD.
I hope it's all gets straightened out. Here we go.
CBD. 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 It helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that. So you wanted to get these for before or after fight training and make your life a better place.
Jorge got paid very good versus Nate, with a fake title on the line. With the real title he gets offered half LOL.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is a little ridiculous, right? He gets paid an absurd amount of money, and then if he gets a real title, it's not as much. Yes, that is ridiculous. But I don't know what the contract is. You know, I mean, maybe he got an absurd amount of money for that BMF fight, and I don't know what they're signing, but he has how many more fights left, Jorge?
I think it was a 7-fight contract, so he's got quite a few coming up.
7-fight contract, dude. What are you doing? I understand job security, that's great, but what? That doesn't sound like a good deal if that's the case. But we'll see. And I do see that Nate's a good draw. Yeah, Nate Diaz right now, and thanks to Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz is a pretty damn big draw, right? He brings the numbers. He's got a lot of fans, and when you talk to Kamaru Usman, that dude does nothing with pushing the needle. Very good 170, probably the best that we've seen in a long time when it comes to the welterweights. I mean, Usman is very, very good, but Usman versus Burns, fascinating fight, but it's gonna get some shit numbers. I'm telling you right now.
No, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be
Usman Burns.
After seeing Burns versus Woodley, I think a lot of people are on that Burns train, and I think it'll do okay. It's not gonna do like
Casuals do not care.
It's not gonna skyrocket numbers, but it'll be a decent fight to watch. I think a lot of people are gonna want to watch it for that reason.
Casuals do not care about Gilbert Burns and Usman. I'm telling you right now, the number's gonna be shit. But what else is on that card? And that fight is a good fight, but I don't see great numbers. What do we got on that card? The card supposedly is pretty good though.
Yeah, hold on.
Let's see.
Pull it up for you real quick. Where's the events?
Give it to me. Go to events. Give it to me. And thank you for the donations. We are, yes, sitting on the studio floor, and hopefully the beginning of July we can really get some equipment back in here, and we're going to be running Arizona studios, fight buddies, the whole deal.
Okay, here we go. Usman versus Burns is the main event for UFC 251.
Okay.
On the main card, co-main, we have Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway, Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo,
Nice.
Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas, Amanda Ribas versus Paige Vance. Actually, that's a pretty fire main card.
The card is very good, and I'm looking right now. No needle pushers. I mean, unless you're looking at Paige Van Zandt.
What? Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway?
Listen, Volkanovski, no one cares about him. Unless you're
Everyone
Aussie.
cares about Max
No one
Holloway,
cares.
and they want to see
And
that.
Max Holloway doesn't push the
This
needle
is for
either.
the regaining of the title, though. People are going to care about this.
Good rematch, okay? Good rematch, but no one cares. Peter Yan versus Aldo is a very interesting fight. I'm trying to look
I
from the
don't get it.
casual perspective here. The only thing a casual sees on this is, oh, Paige Van Zandt's fake titties are opening up this card. That's all they see. Great, and in the main card, I'm not complaining. I think it's great, but I'm telling you right now, I don't see the numbers being fantastic.
People are saying they care about the Volkanovski fight in the chat.
Listen, because you're an MMA fan, but it's not going to sell pay-per-views. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to sell pay-per-views. But it's a very good main card. I am not complaining at all. I think it's fantastic. I'm looking very much so forward to it. The main all the way down, even Paige Van Zandt. I want to see her get her ass kicked. I'd like to see that. See you later. Now, this Paige, this is her last fight on her UFC contract, right?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Oh yeah, I remember because she said she wanted to be an Instagram model after this last fight.
No, she wants to give. She's probably gonna go to Bellator and fight with her hubby. But she's fighting Amanda Ribas.
There's no prelims yet.
So no prelims yet. Yeah, but that's a good main card. That's a really good main card. I don't see it being a huge pay-per-view draw, but it's very balanced, and I like that. I like when the UFC balances it out.
Yeah. Last one. She's off to Bellator. Now she's gonna model. Ribas is fire. If there's if there's enough money on the line, McGregor will come back exactly like Mayweather.
We said that earlier, and if you're just jumping in, we were discussing the McGregor situation. We all think he's coming back, and Mayweather, you're hitting the nail on the head. It's all about the money, man.
It's all about the money.
This is not how he's going out. So if you're a Conor fan or a Conor hater or whatever, you're gonna see more.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Imagine if Aldo wins. Like, holy shit, what a career revival. Paige going to open on Levans after.
She's gonna open what? OnlyFans. Whoa, that would be profitable for Paige, right?
Studio Lord Sonosi.
The Studio Lord. That's right. Sonosi Studios. Thank you. So if Aldo wins this fight, okay, against Peter Yan, which is very doable. I mean, Peter Yan's very good, but Aldo, the 145, some say GOAT, first ever 145 champion.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Black Brazilians don't think they're black, that's how much they think about Africa. Usman might wind up with a permanent injury.
So you're saying, DRS, you're saying he's going to pull? Or he's going to get an injury from the fight? I missed, what did he?
Black Brazilians don't think they're black, that's how much they think about Africa. Usman might wind up with a permanent injury.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but thank you, DRS, I appreciate it. Still see no green belts in the chat yet. I see the orange belts, but no one has been upgraded to the green belts yet. We're waiting. And maybe first week in July, we'll see some green belts in there. But I'm thinking end of this month, end of June. You are yawning a lot today, huh? What's going on? Talk to me.
You guys do this every
Why are you yawning? Talk to me. Talk to me. You tired? You want me to talk to you with the bed? Oh, the laundry. Should I go check? Oh. So, we don't know if our laundry machine works. It was making all clunky, weird noises, and it's on the second floor. Not sure if we want to leak all over the place. The whole floor might be flooded right now. July 4th is when you'll be green belt. I'll be first of the first green belts. Is Ruben? Yeah, I'm curious who's gonna be the first green belt in the chat. A lot of oranges over here. Thank you to the members. Appreciate it. Saying there are quadruple entendres. Dude is on a different JDTD. Jesse, I just noticed that stripe tattoo needs a touch up. Jesse did that tattoo herself. That's how badass she is. She scribbled on herself. Oh, you saw the shorts. Thank you. Right? What the hell? Jesse showed the shorts without even realizing it. She just left for a plane back to New York. Imagine Jesse just doesn't show up ever again. Like that was the last of Jesse. Oh man, you gotta check the laundry. Gone. Bye.
Shopping during a pandemic.
Brett! What up, Brett?
So glad you guys made it safe. Congrats again. God bless our police and military. Imagine getting paid that little to have people turning against you in Atlanta. Those dudes are innocent. Airmen guilty. Atlanta innocent. Woke libs are out of hand.
It is nuts right now. Society's going crazy. Thank you, Brett. I'm hoping that these, the protests and all this stuff, we're dying down. We get back to our normal COVID lives. John says, Moss! What up, John? How you doing? So that pay-per-view is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be one of those big pay-per-view draws, but it's a fantastical main card. So I'm looking forward to that. This weekend, let me look at this weekend's card real quick, because we do have a Fight Buddies coming this weekend. What room do we do it from this time? Maybe we'll do it outside. Want an outside Fight Buddies? I don't know. Let's see. We were going to do this stream outside, but we opted to do it in our studio floor. Let's see. So we got the Blaydes of Volkov, which is an interesting one. The big boys going at it to headline. Freebie over here. We also want to thank our sponsor, Lux Bidet. Link in the description. Promo code CLEAN-HOLES. I'm about to order one for, actually 3 for this house over here. Clean Holes. Can you make a note to order the bidet? Have the laundry, did it work?
I hope so.
Me too. Clean Holes. Promo code right now, immediately, please. Link in the description. Also, we have Mystic Roots. Shout out to Mystic Roots, CBD.com. Mystic Roots, CBD.com. Promo code MMA-Hole for 15% off. That's right, your CBD. And the fights are this weekend, ESPN Plus. Use the link in the description and get your discounts and help out the MMA Holes, because we are sponsored by ESPN as well. So give us a piece of the pie. All right, Blaydes versus Volkov. That is loud. We got Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. Raquel Pennington versus Marion Renault. Bilal Muhammad versus Lyman Good. Jim Miller versus Roosevelt Roberts. Okay. I'm not complaining. It's a fight night. Decent fights on here. I'm cool with it. I'm not hating. It starts at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and it will be on ESPN+.
Oh, snap. Yeah.
Alex!
Come on, get loud, MMA Holes in the crowd. Come on, get loud, MMA Holes in the crowd. Got MMA Holes in the crowd. MMA Holes in the crowd. MMA Holes in the crowd.
Marty from Nebraska wins. Max gets the belt back. Yan wins and Aldo retires and returns to fighting 3 days later.
There's the pics from Alex over there. What do you think, Jess?
Okay.
If Max gets that belt back, I will be happy. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Alex might be Holloway's kryptonite. What does Max Holloway do differently to get the job done? I don't see anything he can do. I think Alex just might be better than him right now at this stage of the game. Alex looked pretty good.
I've got 100 likes. You've got 100. 100 likes. Watching fights. Fist so tight. MMA Holes. Pump them likes. Pump. 100 likes. Watching fights. Fist so tight. Say it.
MMA Holes.
Pump.
Punch.
Punch. You just gotta go on with me. You didn't say it.
Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. You are all wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All right, what's the next story as we move forward?
Next story is Dana White was shocked to hear that Amanda Nunes is contemplating retirement, but she's got plenty of money to do it.
She's not going to retire with the new baby coming.
When UFC President Dana White hears about an athlete contemplating retirement, he usually tells them it's probably a good idea to walk away. That's not the case with two-division champ Amanda
Jumping
Nunes.
during a pandemic.
Jess, how many times are you going to sing 50 likes? Let's just bring the 50 likes song back.
No, it's just because I don't know.
She's so yesterday, this girl. She's so yesterday. Thank you, Alex.
I live in the past.
Amanda Nunes.
Following her 11th straight win, 8th consecutive title victory, and first defense of her featherweight championship, Nunes said recently that there wasn't much left for her to accomplish before calling it a career. She said, quote, "I've achieved everything I wanted. I'm well. I can go on with my life, maybe take a new step, maybe find new talents, help some girls there, maybe be a coach, too." Typically, White might offer congratulations, but he clearly doesn't believe Nunes should be anywhere close to finish with her legendary career by saying, quote, "I will kill her. I literally just told Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard in the last meeting, let's get this featherweight division built for her. Let's build this division for her and let's start figuring this out." Now she's talking about retiring. You know what's awesome about that when you think about it? Her retiring isn't awesome. That actually drives me nuts. You know how I always say if you're talking about retirement, you probably should, unless you're where she's at. It's like what I said about Daniel Cormier when he was talking about retiring a couple of years ago.
There you go. So Amanda Nunes retiring over here. I'm going to say no with that one too. Although maybe her window is closing quicker than Conor. I don't think she's retiring either. What do you think?
No, I don't think. Well, I think maybe. She does have a kid on the way. And she does have a lot of money, and she's already fulfilled her legacy as women's double champ. So...
Yeah, she did enough legacy-wise, but I think... I mean, listen, it's easy for her right now. You know, what she's doing right now, and these girls, they're not on her level. You can just keep on collecting checks and just cruising, you know? So, I mean, yeah, it's nice to finish on top, but Amanda Nunes, I think, still can do some work and just go a little bit further. She's already broken all the records. It's funny, Dana White, I remember very clearly when Amanda Nunes pulled out of that fight. Was it a Shevchenko fight, if I'm not mistaken? One of the rematches? I don't know. And Dana White threw her under the bus, like terribly, like really bad. And now Dana White's singing her praises and putting her on the Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters. It's crazy how things change. You start winning and the boss loves you. If you pull out of a fight, the boss doesn't love you anymore. It's
or if you're Tyron Woodley, the boss doesn't love you.
Well, I don't think many people like Tyron Woodley, but
all right.
It is what it is.
Next topic, Moss.
Yes, give it to me.
Chael Sonnen would like to see Anderson Silva face Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, or Robbie Lawler.
Okay, Chael Sonnen would want what?
Anderson Silva
Yes.
versus Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, or Robbie Lawler.
Okay, so Nick happened, and that was just ridiculously disgusting. That was a terrible fight. Nate Diaz, the brother, I don't care about that. Do you care about that?
No.
Yeah, I don't. Fight at middleweight. What are we doing? Okay, what's the other one?
Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, or Robbie Lawler.
Or Robbie Lawler? Chael, what are you smoking, dude? Robbie Lawler? Is he on crack? What's going on here?
I guess.
Wait,
alright, I'll tell you what he said.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know. What is this?
I'm starting with Diaz. I'm not narrowing that down to Nick or Nate. Nick Diaz versus Anderson works. We know it works because we've seen it once.
You know?
It was a very fun fight. It was a fight I'm not sure that Nick won a round. A judge may have given him a round. He declared he won all 5. It was great. You're not talking about a contender match. You're talking about having fun. What the hell's wrong with that? What have we also seen about the Diazes? It doesn't really matter which one it is. I mean, right? It doesn't really matter which one it is. I'm here to let you know Nate will bump up to 185 pounds. Here's one that might surprise you, Robbie Lawler. Lawler might surprise you because he's at 170 pounds. Go back and look at his career. He's done plenty of work at 185. Not to mention these guys are from the same era, so many people don't know that because Robbie's such a young guy. Robbie started at 19. He started at an oddly young age. Anderson started at a normal age, but they both date themselves back to the same year. The fact that these guys have never crossed is actually a bit surprising.
I have a feeling, and I'm a fan of Chael. Chael's one of the guys that got me into this sport. Like Uncle Chael was the guy, you know. I got to meet Chael Sonnen, calls the MMA-Holes. Nice man. But this, I think he's just trying to pull things out of thin air and just throw different things at you. And I understand what you're doing, but at the same time, I don't want to see any of them fights. I mean, Nick Diaz maybe is the only a rematch just for the fuck of it. It happened that one time. It was such a weird one. Nick was lying there doing the centerfold pose. But we really dipped downhill after that. I don't want to see Nate Diaz versus Anderson Silva. It just doesn't. What? And Robbie Lawler, wait, what? Do you want to see any of that?
No, I could care less. But I think Anderson Silva, like enough already.
You know what you do? You take Michael Bisping, you drag him out of retirement, and run it back with Anderson Silva. Because Silva won the first one. Run that shit back. That's what I want to see. Even though that's never going to happen. That's what I want to see. Because your situation
Shopping
doesn't happen
during a pandemic.
Chrome.
Moss, what the fuck happened to your hair? Did you get electrocuted? Has that Arizona heat already have you pulling your hair out? You're starting to look like Lil Chuck Caleb. Harris.
Lil Chuck. You got the mohawk.
You don't like my flow? My floofy flow?
We should call him Moss Chuck.
You
Moss
like
Liddell.
my floofy flow, Crow? Thank you, Crow. Appreciate it.
Moss Liddell.
Moss Liddell?
Yeah, you got the same type of mohawk as he did.
My quarantine fluff. You don't like it? You don't like it? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm very aerodynamic. I don't really have any product in it. That's okay. Okay. What else do we have in the news?
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Moss Hawk for the win. Did Jesse cut your hair? Yeah, I cut it. But if you went to a barber, I'm sure they could have made it look
Nah, fuck
more
that.
pristine.
Fuck that. Jesse, did she make it even in the back? Let's see. Let's see.
Not even on it. Pretty even, Moss.
Is it even? Is it even enough?
It's pretty even.
Okay.
Oh, I think we're gonna slip.
All right. Let's get back into the news, peoples. Let's get back into the news.
Super chat.
Brathian.
That beard is looking fresh to death with the hair.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
trimmed
Brett.
your beard too, right?
No, I didn't trim this. I just kind of clipped it a little over here, but I didn't really touch this. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate that, man. How's your bidet doing? Because we got to order for this house.
A mullet is longer in the back, guys. A mullet.
Oh, I'm gonna grow it longer. I'm gonna get that mullet going.
Yeah, a mullet's not. A mullet is if the back of his hair was really long.
I'm gonna
And
do
then
that.
down into
You want?
that.
Should I do a rat tail?
That's a mullet.
I'm gonna have a rat tail. What do you think? I should just do that, right? Let it go.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Let this get long back here, just like fluffy and weird. A moslet. Yeah, we'll see. Listen, it's quarantine. It's quarantine time. Like, I see the road runners. I got to do the road runner hair. You know. All right. What else we got? News, please.
He should have 100K subscribers, so his entire back would be full of X's. No, I think the next one
Yeah. What the hell, man? What the hell's going on? Subscribe.
is
Next one's for
L.
you.
It's like L something.
Yeah, it's not X's, guys.
They're Roman numerals.
They're Roman numerals. Like, what is going on? You know, there's not all X's in Roman numerals, right? What are we doing? A lot of people say that. Like, what?
It's a backwards mullet.
All right. What else we have in the news?
Okay. According to MMA Fighting, Dan Hooker is confident he can finish Dustin Poirier, saying, "I don't think Poirier has the chin Paul Felder does."
Yeah, you're gonna lose, Hooker. Sorry.
As soon as Dan Hooker got the call offering him a fight against Dustin Poirier, he accepted it without a second thought. Originally, the lightweight showdown was scheduled in May, but the coronavirus pandemic put a stop to that. Now Hooker is preparing to face Poirier in the main event at UFC on ESPN 12 on June 27th after training through a quarantine and getting ready to fly halfway around the world for the biggest fight of his career. Heading into this fight, Poirier has the deeper resume after becoming interim lightweight champ last year before falling to Khabib Nurmagomedov in a title unification bout this past September. Afterwards, Poirier underwent hip surgery, and he will be making his return to action after 9 months away. Meanwhile, Hooker was able to pick up a statement win over Paul Felder in his first UFC main event. Records aside, Hooker and Poirier engage in the kind of stylistic matchup that screams fight of the night, with both possessing an offensive output that would make Mike D'Antoni blush.
Antony.
Antony.
Antony? No, Antony.
D'Antoni.
D'Antony. You barely got past Felder. In fact, I thought you lost that fight, Mr. Hooker. You barely got past him. You mean to tell me you're going to beat DP? You're going to beat him? Come on, Dan. Dan, stop smoking that shit. You got to lay off the crack. You got to lay off the crack, Mr. Hooker. You look great against Al. Raging Al, you look great. I'll give you that. But you barely beat Paul Felder. And Paul Felder's good. But you're going to lose to Dustin. You're going to lose. You're going to lose.
Why do you always do that? It weirds me out. Stop it.
Shopping during a pandemic.
$1,000 donation. Moss gets a tattoo of the donor's name on his back. I nominate Gary. Flex biceps.
A $1,000 donation, I put the name on my back. I should do that, right?
No.
I'll have Jesse tattoo the name on my back.
We're not doing that.
Like a tramp stamp. Oh man, I should save my ass cheeks for your names, your $1,000 donations. I should do that. You know, there was a time where I would do it. What about if I put their initial, Jesse? If I put their initial tattooed on my body?
How about
Shopping during a pandemic.
Okay. Pandemic.
Didn't Hooker just get the shit beat out of him by Barbosa just a couple of fights ago? Now he thinks he will beat Dustin.
Yeah, Barboza, right? Wasn't Al after that, and then Felder, right? Can you pull him up on the tap, Dan Hooker? Hooker's good. I'm not saying Hooker's a bad fighter. I just think Poirier is too much. I think Poirier's going to come back with that chip on his shoulder. The Khabib thing didn't go out his way.
I'm going to go take the dryer.
Look at Hooker, the Hangman Hooker. Let's see, Danny Boy. Although he does, he trains with Izzy, right? He's 28-0. Yeah, Paul Felder, James Vick. I apologize. So you beat James Vick, who is the punching bag of Gaethje as well. You finished him. Al Quincy get the unanimous decision, and then you split it up with Felder, which, like I said, I think Paul Felder might have won that fight. He beat Gilbert Burns. It's impressive. He beat Jim Miller and knocked them both out. So that's pretty good. He finished Mark DeCasey, who was a hype train guy who has some skill. That's pretty good too. Ross Pearson, tough. He finished him. So you got some decent finishes in a row. But Edson Barboza beat him to oblivion. Like, Edson Barboza broke Dan Hooker. Did he have an off night? Maybe. It's possible. Maybe he had an off night. I just see DP getting it done, man. He lost to our boy Jason Knight. He lost unanimously to Jason Knight. So, the kid getting it done. But there's some interesting people. He lost to Yair Rodriguez. Who else? That's pretty much... Man, Dan Hooker's been doing it for a little bit, though. You forget about some of these fights. How old is he now? He's 30. Jesse likes Hooker, though. What do you think of him versus Poirier?
He's not like I can root against him, Listen.
But who wins, Poirier or Hooker? What do you got?
Well, Poirier, of course. I think Hooker has a lot of promise.
Well, he's 30. I mean, he's been in the game for a little bit now.
He's only 30.
Yeah. Well, he's been in the game for a little bit. I just went through his resume.
He's still arguably in his prime.
Okay.
So.
You think he's hitting his stride now?
I would have to sit down and do a little research on it before I made a pick.
Poirier. The guy that knocked out Gaethje. Poirier. The guy that fought for the title. Poirier. Dan Hooker. You're gonna lose. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay, what else we have in the news?
Alright. Dana White says, I honestly don't know what to do with Anderson Silva.
Could you imagine? Arguably one of the greatest of all time, Anderson Silva, and the UFC has no clue what to do with him. Yeah. Let's see what he thinks. Let's see. I'm curious.
UFC legend Anderson Silva.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Ferguson or Poirier, then Khabib or Zeus, Gaethje.
Ferguson or Poirier, then Khabib or Zeus, Gaethje. Wonderful, wonderful.
UFC legend Anderson Silva has just 2 fights left on his contract, and Dana White doesn't know what to do with the former UFC middleweight champion. Silva has flirted with Conor McGregor and Anthony Pettis as possible opponents, but White doesn't appear interested in either of those matchups. Speaking to ESPN's Brett Okamoto in a recent interview, White said there's a lot of things that goes into the decision-making process and explained that he will sit down with Silva to discuss his future in the coming weeks. White said, "I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do with his last 2 fights. When Anderson's really ready to fight, we'll sit down and look at it, and we'll figure out what we think makes sense for him next." There's a lot of things that goes into the decision-making process with an Anderson Silva. His age, what he gets paid, all that stuff's important. I'm not crazy about it. You've got a guy that fought at 145 pounds and a guy that is in the conversation for the go at 185 pounds and walks around at 210, 215. It's not a big fight that really means something. I like making fights that mean something, so I'm not crazy about Silva versus Pettis.
What about this? The fight that should have happened back in the day. What about you take Anderson Silva and you say, hey, listen, make some sort of weird-ass catch-weight fight with GSP. Drag GSP off the couch and say, hey, GSP, listen, no title, no nothing. Just you want a crazy novelty fight, supposed to happen back in the day. Pick a weight where you guys both want to fight out, and we'll just do a fun fight.
Yeah.
Make that happen. Why not? Why not? That was supposed to happen. Give me that. That's what I want to see.
Let's see what the chat wants to see. Duamas, Silva versus Masvidal. Isn't Silva way bigger than Pettis?
What's that? Pettis. Where's Pettis coming?
Because Dana White was talking about Pettis.
Dana White was talking about Pettis versus Silva? No, I don't want to see that. No. Stop that.
Silva versus Pettis be good, says Ethan Roberts. Matt C says, I just don't want GSP fighting anyone but Khabib. I just want someone to beat Khabib. Okay, so yeah, if you don't want to tarnish, you're like, God forbid GSP loses to Silva, which you never know, right? He beat Michael Bisping, took the title, but then retired and said, I am done with fighting. If he fights Anderson Silva and say he loses to Anderson Silva, which could happen, then you take the Khabib thing right out of the situation. If that were to, but here's the thing:
Jumping during a pandemic.
It's not gonna happen.
JBH, I've been working through watching The Sopranos again. You have to check out the new Talking Sopranos podcast/YouTube show. It's amazing. Bobby and Christopher are doing it with guests. Awesome. I better have your Satriales rock with you in Arizona still.
That's awesome. I'll check it out.
Do you have the rock? Where's the rock?
Yeah, I have the rock with me. I gotta give my dad his rock. But I packed it, so once it gets here, then I'll give it to my dad.
Yeah, 2 rocks, right? Brett gave 2 rocks. She's gonna keep one in her father's event too, so she's gonna give one to her pop.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate the donations, friends. Thank you so much.
Super chat.
Johnny Hendricks is the guy to beat Khabib.
Big Rig, bring back Big Rig. Oh yeah, so yeah, thank you. You think Johnny Hendricks will come back? Whatever happened to Johnny Hendricks? I mean, he went to bare knuckle, got his ass whooped, and man, that guy fell quick. Ever since they stopped with the IV stuff, the IV, the IVs. Ever since they stopped with that, Johnny was just.
Because he couldn't use them anymore.
GSP is not fighting Khabib at 155. Just not happening. So, if he wants a quick paycheck, you know, I think Anderson
Jumping during a pandemic.
Weird catch weight or some shit.
Dana said Silva walks around at like 210 or 215. But when Silva fought DC at UFC 200 on like 2 days' notice, he weighed in at like 196. Again, Dana showing again he doesn't know what he is talking about.
Was he under 200 pounds? Anderson Silva? Yeah, I remember when he fought DC, and that was an odd fight. It was a UFC 200. Yeah, how much did he walk around with then? You might be right. Thank you, Mr. Chrome to your dome. Thank you for the donation.
Super chat.
Brathian.
You've been giving that to your dad for 2 years.
Yeah, I remember when I first got it, we were going to ship it to him. And then we're like, no, let's not spend the money. We'll give it to him next time we see him. But we never visited. So I held on to it for 2 years, and now we finally moved here, but it's with the movers. So finally, when it gets here, I'll be able to give it to my dad.
Yeah, he's getting it.
Money.
He's getting it. All right, let's move on to the next story over here.
All right, last story. Ready?
No, I'm not ready.
According to ESPN.com, why a small octagon could decide Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov.
Dana White says it means nothing. I say Dana White, hogwash. I think it means that he's like, the people have checked the stats. It doesn't mean. I see a huge difference with this little cage. So I don't care what you say, Mr. White.
Well, Dana White doesn't believe that the smaller cage the UFC is using at its Apex facility has factored into more stoppages, but the numbers might disagree. During 3 events at the Apex, with the 25-foot octagon as opposed to a 30-footer, the finish rate is 54.5%, 18 finishes in 33 fights. In comparison, the 3 events in Jacksonville, Florida, with the bigger cage had a finish rate of 46.9%, which was 15 finishes in 32 fights. According to ESPN stats and information, it might not be a huge difference, but it seems like a significant uptick. Then again, it could be a coincidence having more to do with the types of fighters than the size of the cage.
No, there's no coincidence.
Either way, the topic is sure to resurface Saturday when former collegiate wrestling champ Curtis Blaydes takes on a lanky striker Alexander Volkov in the Fight Night main event.
Listen, before you get back into that, I apologize.
It'll delve into your side too, don't worry.
Well, no, but hold on a second. So the only reason why the UFC is saying this about the smaller cage, Dana White admitted that the smaller cage does not look good in a big arena. So visually, it doesn't look as impressive. So they go with the bigger cage and like, their stats, oh, there's no difference. It's the same results. That is bullshit. You put the smaller cage in there, you're going to get more finishes, you're going to get more excitement. So stop it, boss. Usually you're on point, but this one, I'm calling you out. You bald motherfucker. I'm calling you out right now.
Wrestlers like close quarters, though. Blaydes isn't confined to a ground game and has knocked out his past 2 opponents. Blaydes is ranked number 3 by the UFC and is firmly entrenched in the title picture. Francis Ngannou, who has twice beaten Blaydes, is the first in line to face the winner of the title fight between champion Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier, but as Gilbert Burns proved, title shots aren't always determined by rankings. ESPN's panel of ARIEL Helwani, Phil Murphy, Brett Okamoto, and Jeff Wagenheim debate Saturday's card, including which bout is destined for the fight of the night bonus. So, the question that they were asked was, do you expect the smaller cage to favor either fighter in the main event? Okamoto said yes. The smaller cage favors Blaydes without a doubt. It's always going to favor wrestlers. You know what would favor Volkov? A technical stand-up battle. It's much harder to have one of those in a significantly smaller space. The smaller cage is going to have an impact on some fights and not on others. Those it does impact, it will be to varying degrees, but this one is pretty high in my opinion. You have heavyweights, one of whom wants to get that fight to the ground, so a small cage is great for Blaydes.
We should have MMA-Holes bedtime stories where you read a news article to the MMA-Holes very late at night and they fall asleep to it because you have such a soothing voice. You give them the news.
You're just saying that because you get bored.
No, I'm saying that would be a bedtime with Jesse. We should do that, right? Little bedtime stories where you write, or maybe write a little bedtime story, instead of fight briefing, bedtime with Jesse. You get in your pajamas, right?
Okay.
What do you think? Nice little story. All right, who else? Didn't other writers say something?
They did, but it's a lot of people. So.
No, you don't want to. So you just Oklahoma and that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone said yes?
Yeah, they all said yes.
Okay, so who was the other guys? ARIEL and who else?
ARIEL Helwani, Brett Okamoto, Jeff Wagenheim, and I already forgot the other guy's name.
Mark Ramundi? Luke Thomas?
It wasn't Ramundi.
You know what's refreshing about this, Jess, and people in the chat? With this whole move, I haven't consumed a smidge of Luke Thomas content, and it's so refreshing. I feel like a new man. I thought it was the move to Arizona, but Jesse's my witness. It has been, 2 weeks of no Luke Thomas at all. Like, no, whatever I don't know, his YouTube thing. I don't listen to his serious thing. Drop the Lukes in the chat right now. It is amazing. I feel great.
Yeah. He
is such a downer. In the morning combat, I don't listen to that shit anymore either, and it's great. It's terrible. It's terrible content. Not like 2 people sitting on a floor like this. Now this is content. I feel great. It does feel good though. We haven't listened to Ariel and DC. We haven't listened to anything. We are literally removed. We read the stories. We give unbiased opinions. We should go forward like that because I feel like a new man.
Okay.
But we're not getting the breaking news or anything like that. But I feel great. I feel so good. I feel good. Anyway, all right. How do you feel in the chat? Let me know.
I listened to him like twice. Horrible. Moss, why did you watch it if you hated it? I asked
Why
him
did I
that all the
watch
time.
it? Because honestly, there was nothing on. I don't have TV. Like, I have direct TV now. So if I need some MMA, I'll go through and whatever's on, I just put it on. Luke Thomas, I shut off in 2 seconds. I can't listen to it, but I put it on, then turn it off. I do it every time. It's like, why does a baby touch something hot when they already burnt themselves? Yeah, they still fucking touch it like an idiot. That's me with Luke Thomas. I don't like it. I still touch the stove. I don't know why. I keep touching that. Now I don't have to touch it anymore. Brett.
I haven't watched Luke in over 2 months now. F him.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I feel great. Is it the move or is it the lack of Luke in my system? He's a miserable fuck.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
you're actually happy.
I feel great. I have this stupid hairdo. I
Looks
feel great.
You know what I was thinking? What if we just made it all the same length as what it is in the back?
But short?
Yeah, well, it's kind of short, but it's kind of long. Like, what if we made it all shorter?
What about all long?
It
though?
might look better.
What about all this length back there too?
Jumping during a pandemic.
I can make it grow.
Daniel Cormier said in a recent interview that the smaller cage will be in his favor against Miocic for the trilogy.
I agree. I agree with everyone. The wrestler has to have the advantage with the small cage. Now, Stipe does have wrestling. He does. He can play on the ground. I mean, look what he did with Ngannou. He can do it. He can do the ground and pound action. But DC, I still feel, has the advantage. Talk about the smaller cage. Curtis Blaydes, Volkov. Volkov is very good, but I think he's been. I mean, Greg Hardy made it a challenge for him. So Blaydes is going to run him over. Are we with this, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, Blaydes being the better wrestler. Wrestlers like tiny spaces because they can work a little bit more. So strikers, they need a little more space to play the range. So of course Blaydes is going to have the advantage here.
Who wins? Any people in the chat say Volkov? I mean, maybe he gets the job done. The sun's setting, it's gorge. Who wins the fight, Volkov or Blaydes? Let us know as we have to wind this thing down, right?
Yeah. We've all watched crappy things, says Kolvik. Brett Baratian says Drunk Savage, ha 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 ha, Moss Thomas. Can't wait for that fucking fight, man. Blaydes for the win. Blaydes, smaller cage is worse for both Cormier and Miocic because they're both big as fuck.
So they're not going to fit in the cage? Maybe they won't fit. Maybe they'll just be like this, just stuck in the cage. They close the gate and they just...
Okay.
They should make it like a really small cage, Jess. That's what I would like to see.
It
Like,
is really small. It's 25
I want to
feet.
see like a 4 foot by 4 foot cage where you put the two fighters in together and they're just like this. Like this. Like in the cage.
Stop. Okay.
Wouldn't that be great? We should start our own MMA fighting, but with extraordinarily small cages. Or what about this? The right size octagon, but the roof is really low. So you have to kind of like... perfectly the same size octagon cage, right? But the ceiling's low. So you just kind of like, you have to hunch over when you're fighting each other.
Stroke force. UK bare knuckle style.
Yes. Do not
Phone
steal.
booth fights.
Don't steal the idea. Don't, because you know it's good.
The phone booth fighting
It'd be
championship.
hilarious, right? 4-ounce gloves. Yes. 10-minute rounds. 2 10-minute rounds. Nah, let's do. Nah, how would
Fighting
do
on
this?
the knees.
That would be great. I don't know. I got to think about the rules of my fighting league, but I think it'd be fantastic. Or cage fighting in the water. So the water's up to your neck, right? And you're in a cage, submerged. Well, you can't because in the water. Well, it's got to have plexiglass around the cage to keep the water in, Jesse. But what about cage fighting? So you start on one side, the other side, and then you see them going in slow motion towards each other to fight. You can't swim. It's against the rules. Just trekking through. And they got to punch underwater. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point. For that cage talk, Holloway is long and rangy. Volkanovski is compact. T-Rex arms fighting. Aliens do the water fight. Fight on nice rink. Toes fighting.
Yeah.
Doggy paddle, tread and pound. Cage fighting at Playland at McDonald's Moss Bro. The reptilian aliens don't like your tongue.
Oh, that's terrible.
Fighting in a ball pit. They use the water. The Flash Gordon tilting circle with spikes. Dick Slap FC. Autonomous zone fighting champions. Drunk, this channel is keeping me together, bro.
Oh man, this is fantastic. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We got through all the stories. Recaps here. Conor McGregor. We both think that he's coming back. We think this is, it's a tactic. He's done it multiple times before. A la Floyd Mayweather. That's happened. The other stories, we have some fights this weekend. Romero versus Hall. What else did we touch on?
It's in August.
Cormier has the
Cormier and
advantage.
Masvidal.
Oh yeah, Cormier and Masvidal going back and forth. I don't know why, but all right.
Amanda Nunes is contemplating retirement. RDA wants Conor McGregor. And that's it.
Okay, so here's what I want right now. We will be doing Fight Buddies on Saturday. We will be doing some sort of food off on Friday. It's going to be a phone stream until we get the studio up and running. We are, sitting on the floor. Oh, hold on a second. We're sitting on the floor, empty room. The TV will be over here. The green screen will be on this wall. It's going to be a full wall of green. So that is that. As we are hanging here with the boys and girls on a studio floor Wednesday. The last part of the show, we're going to just see what you guys want to talk about, and then we'll wind it down. That's it. All right, chat room, thank you for joining us. Make sure you slap the likes and share the video. Subscribe if you're not subbed. So we got a lot of stuff coming from the AZ to the world. Okay.
Outside thoughts got no love. I know, but we're considering a morning show, but it's gonna take some planning. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. But even though we didn't do the road trip on there, we've got some ideas that we're gonna plan out and hopefully have something by the end of the year. I love the blue carpet, JBH. Seriously cool.
It's pretty radical. Well, it's gray.
It's gray.
But it does probably look blue.
Yeah, right now in the sunset, it probably looks blue.
Yeah, it's got a tint. Maybe it's got a little bluish tint to it.
It's gray. Stay safe, all. Small cage might have fighters calling for appeals because they are too small. I just leave the wallpaper if you can bear it. It may need skimming if you strip it. It would be a pain in the ass for you. Oh, he's talking about because you want to put wallpaper on the walls.
Yeah, I was thinking about downstairs. This room, no. But downstairs, we got to put the soundboards up over here. We got to, once the moving stuff comes in, we're going to make this place look completely different. But downstairs, yeah, I was thinking about doing wallpaper. But some people said it's easy to take off. I was worried about resale. If it falls apart, I don't know.
I can't hear you because volume turned down over at our friend still. Oh, that's...
Crank it up!
You guys should eat hot and gross stuff for a morning show.
Hot and gross stuff. It's a terrible way to start the day, but hot. I can do hot.
Hot coffee.
What are we talking about gross?
Hot egg. Tomorrow we'll have an egg sausage burrito.
You want to stream breakfast tomorrow?
You guys want to stream breakfast?
We'll have breakfast with the boys?
On not the MMA. Oh, on Outside Thoughts.
We could do that.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the third channel, link in the description. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow morning for breakfast.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you never know.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. What else are we going to talk about?
Super
Jonathan.
chat.
Conor alive and well impaled in 3-year-old whiskey.
Thank you, Jonathan.
All right.
Jonathan Wilberding. There you go. He's getting that whiskey dollars. He's got that whiskey dick. All right. All right, chat. Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday night. We really do appreciate your company. And like I said, we'll be moving forward with the streams. As soon as the studio is here, we'll have our studio shows back in action. We'll have our guests on and the whole deal. Fight Buddies will be from the phone. The question is, which room will we do Fight Buddies? Which room do you want to do it in?
That's a good question.
Where should we Fight Buddy?
Probably in here, right?
I don't know. We could do it outside. We could do it in the
It
kitchen.
gets really cold in
We could
here.
do it in the bathroom.
Freezing.
The laundry room. Where you want to do it? On the roof?
Oh, we should do it outside.
Outside fight buddies? That would be
Yeah, I don't know if
interesting.
I could sit on this floor for 8 hours.
And outside fight buddies. But then when it gets dark out there, we might die. What time do the fights end? It starts at what time? Hold on. I don't want a scorpion to bite my face off in the middle of the night. All right, so the prelims start at
5
Eastern time.
So 2 for us.
And it would end for us. Wait, so then the main card starts at
No, you gotta click main card. 5 for us.
5, 6, 7, 8. All right, some might still be up. We could do a fight buddies out there.
Yeah.
Should we
It'll
do
be
that?
setting. The sun will be setting.
Fight buddies outside. Put it in the comment section what you think. We'll take votes.
All right.
All right, you ready to get out of here?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go cook some dinner. Don't be an a-hole. Be an M-M-A